All right, here we go. Go Sports Radio. Carver and Cuthbert here with you live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Happy April. Woohoo! April 1st. No fools around here.
Well,
just ready to go. Okay,
maybe this guy.
Maybe a little bit around here. But a beautiful day down in Long Beach as hopefully spring is actually here. Very busy. Mets and Yankees both in action this afternoon. We'll discuss their first couple of days during the season. We've got the Final Four set for Indianapolis this weekend. Heavy hitter group that we will have there. Got some NFL stuff this week with the coaches out at the owners' meetings. Man, Aaron Glenn should just stop talking. That's really what my advice to him would be. And the Islanders. Oh, what is happening there? Everybody been burning it down right now as everyone's very nervous about the last couple of weeks of the regular season here for the Islanders. We've got a few other things to do as well. Mike Carver along with Paul Cuthbert. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Apologize to everybody who's waiting for us at noon. We're a little late today, but it's my fault. But we're here. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. And hopefully you'll get fooled a little bit.
Come on.
Not by us, though. We ain't fooling around. We don't fool around here down at Borrelli's Taproom every Wednesday and Thursday.
We're not fooling around. That's for sure. It's great to have everybody. A new week, a new month, all of it.
The Islanders are fooling around.
We're going to get to that. The Islanders are fooling around right now. And, I don't have so much a problem with last night in Buffalo. Nobody beats Buffalo's lost a couple games.
It was a humdinger against Penguins, buddy.
That's the problem, is that game. That is the game we will discuss at length. But baseball is here. We have we're now a week into the season. We've gotten a little bit of a look at a bunch of these teams, including, of course, our Yankees and our Mets here locally. Both are playing this afternoon, so it seems appropriate that we start here. And I guess with the Yankees, Paul, who have gotten out to a 4-1 start, as they get ready to face the Mariners around 4 o'clock East. Cam Schlittler will go today against Kirby's Dreamland, George Kirby for Seattle. And obviously the anchor of this 4-1 start for them is they don't give up any runs. It's been people thought that this could be one of the better rotations in the league this year. People thought that the Yankees were going to have a great staff. And I think that people thought that that was going to be more when they got Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon back in the mix, along with the guys that they have now. But they are 5 games in, and collectively, starters and they have only allowed 3 runs across the first 5 games.
That's unacceptable.
I saw some stat this morning that it's like least amount of runs allowed in the first 5 games of the season, or tied for the least amount allowed.
1900 or something.
So I don't know how much we want to put this on the team they played the first 3 games is pathetic offensively in the San Francisco Giants, or we just put it on what a hell of a start. Max Fried, Schlittler, Warren, Weathers, even though they lost that game Monday night, he didn't pitch poorly. Great start for the Yankees and especially their staff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to see anything more, man. It's World Series. We're bound. It's happening, man.
Well, let's be fair.
I mean,
that's not exactly where
Judge doesn't even need to hit anymore. We don't even need him. He's a distraction, which is great. It's working out great. Some nights during the start of the season, it's been the top of the lineup. Some nights it's been the bottom of the lineup.
How about the start for Stanton? 2 hits in every game.
The monster.
2 hits a night he's getting.
And he's stealing bases, and he's scoring from second base.
He's even got, well, I don't need, listen, and I don't need him running around, okay? Station to station, because the only bad things can happen by him taking 2 bases. Obviously, it's a double in the gap, whatever. He's got to get the second base. Things, scoring from second, 2 outs, things you got to do. But let's limit the amount of traffic on the base pass for Stanton. We want to make sure that we keep him as healthy as possible, because you are seeing him hit the ball, and he's hitting it hard, and he's got a couple hits in every single game. Offense has kind of been there. Like you said, it's been a little bit of a mix of everybody so far. I'm not that concerned about that.
Look at Trent Grisenbell. Just, everybody was curious about that signing. I think Cashman's a genius.
Yeah, well,
he's a genius.
Geniuses.
Play in the outfield? Come on.
Yeah, well, he's
all-star.
He's been good.
He'll be in the all-star game this year.
I don't know about that. I'm not going to go that far. But all in all, I think I said to you last Thursday when we were here, you don't want to make too much about one game. When they played that opening night game against the Giants, you can't. There's 161 more of these, and you can kind of do this after all these games. Like, even though it's 5 games, it's like it's still only 5 games. It's an extremely small sample size of the bigger picture of the whole thing. But you have to be happy about the pitching, and you have to be happy that they're playing well. And usually the West Coast is a problem for them. I think it's good that they started the season on the West Coast. It's a trip that usually, and you get a few of them during the year, the East Coast teams. There's 2 or 3 West Coast trips, usually 3 you take throughout the year. But the Yankees historically they're not great on these trips. And I think it helped having it right out of the gate. It helped having a team the first 3 days that couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in San Francisco. And now it's, playing another team that's kind of up on their level with Seattle and playing them tight. It's a nice way to start the season. And after today, they'll ship it on home for the home opener on Friday.
Hey, look, you're the New York Yankees. If they were 1-5, there'd be gifts of dumpster fires.
Well, that's very true too.
But
I will agree with
here's how I'm going to look at this. Obviously, Stanton starting off great is a really good thing. But what I like, it starts behind plate with Wells and Escar. I thought Escar caught a great game last night, and Wells catching a good game. Benny Rice been very good at first base. Jazz, Caballero, McMahon, Belly, Grizz, and Judge.
Everybody's playing.
Defensively, they've been excellent.
Yeah.
Really, really excellent.
And
good stuff. And they were a big part of the game last night, helping Max out. On the mound.
Freed's been excellent.
Yeah.
Freed was excellent in both starts.
His game last
really
night was
good.
Whoa.
And remember what the real goal of the first 6 weeks of the season is. Just remember that the main objective for Yankee baseball between now and the middle of May is that Caballero plays well enough that they don't play Volpe when he gets healthy. That is the main goal of the first 6 weeks of the season. That's what I care about the most, is that he plays good enough so that Volpe doesn't play when he comes back.
Well, I mean, look,
and that's not going to happen. They're going to play Volpe.
He's been excellent. He hasn't been perfect. I'm looking at it this way. If Volpe had started this series out, these 2 series out, and like I said, Caballero's been excellent. But it would have been so much more heightened if it was Volpe,
right?
A bad throw here or maybe a sloppy play here now and then. But it was few and far between.
Yeah.
But Caballero's got that. He's just got to go out there and play every day.
Yep.
And there's no doubt, we would all think, but obviously following Aaron Boone as a manager and all the crap that everybody talks about, the front office and everything else, as far as if Volpe's going to come back or not. But if this guy just plays sound and he's productive and he just does all the things that the Yankees, well, I'll tell you right now, what a great move by Cashman to get him here, because he's been an excellent asset.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
So if he does stay healthy, and if that's a great problem to have, that they're not going to put Volpe in, or maybe he comes the regular starting shortstop, hey, that's good. But I'm telling you, man, if this defensive lineup stays healthy, it's a pretty damn good one. And the bats have balanced out. Yes, granted, it's first 2 series, but they did face a couple of good pitchers, and they just got to keep rocking and rolling here. But like I said, if it was the other way around,
that you're right, because it's all sunshine and rainbows right now. I mean, it's great because and look, they could win today. I mean, Schlittler could pitch well today. They might go home 5-1.
They're losing their minds and Flushing already. They're done with Bichette,
which they shouldn't, and we're going to get to them in a minute. But I agree with you 1,000%. If they were 1-4, looking to salvage a game today and get home 2-4, you're right. People would be already throwing arrows at them, on no question. And winning makes it, you quiet all of those things early in the year, because once you get through the first couple weeks, everyone's excited right now. Everyone's locked in because the baseball's back there. You're eventually going to slip into that, everyone's not as zeroed in every single day after a few weeks. You got playoffs in hockey and basketball coming up. You got a few other things happening. Everyone's really locked in the first week. And winning is better than losing in that aspect, because there's nothing to complain about over that time. You win today and you go home 5-1, play the Marlins on Friday afternoon.
Who are playing very well, too.
Marlins are playing very well. It helps to start with Colorado and the White Sox. That's very
Colorado
helpful.
Rockies, man.
That's helpful to start with those two teams at home. And you going Friday opening day? You going out there?
Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it this year.
Okay.
I wanted to go, but
okay,
it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Okay. We'll see. It could be a little wet out there too for opening day. We'll see.
But look, they roll this team back. It's a good baseball team. It's a good baseball team. All right.
And that's the other side of the coin.
This
Five
rotation,
games in, he looks like he was right. So
if this rotation can stay healthy and then line up with Garrett and Rodon coming back.
Rodon is another guy. He's already got a setback. He's whatever happened. I saw the report last night during
we just need him in September. That's it.
Rodon's he's gonna take a little bit longer to be ready.
And it looks like we're okay. Looks like we'll be okay.
I'm fine with these guys right now. You got to remember, these four guys have all had one good turn through the lineup. Frida's now had two, and he's pitched very well in both games. You haven't even put Louis Heel in there yet, who's going to be the fifth guy once they've had so many days off the first week as well, where they didn't need it.
Cruz is a great pitcher.
So they have all that, and then they still have those two big money veterans who they're paying the most down the road that are going to come in at some point. Fried makes a lot of money too. I know that. But Rodon and Cole, they're big, big money that they're going to have. So things are looking up for them going forward. Now, you mentioned the Mets. They'll play this afternoon as well in St. Louis. At least they're going to try to play this afternoon in St. Louis. As you know, Paulie, every morning I duel as a weatherman, especially
what's it looking like out there today,
when it
buddy?
comes to betting home runs and looking at the conditions in each park every day and the wind and the weather. It's rainy in St. Louis. They have already said they're not going to start on time. So the Mets are supposed to start at 1:15. That's not going to happen. The weather people that I follow say that there is a window later in the day, if they wait a little while, that they could probably get the game in. So you could be waiting a bit for the Mets and the Cardinals. And look, the Mets are 3-2. There's only one glaring problem that I had with the Mets over their first 5 games. There was only one thing that stuck out to me and I know Bichette, and I'll get there, and you can't get upset with Bichette yet. It's a week. I thought the one thing that was troublesome was they should have swept the Pirates. The game on Sunday, I don't know what the hell they were doing. I don't know why Lindor was sent home on that play when Soto doubled an extra
It's early in the season.
But I'm just saying, that's a game, but that's a win. That's a game you should have won. And you had the Robert walk-off on Saturday. You have that game where you have a chance to win the game in extras. I thought that was a little tough. And
Blue Skeens out of the game in that first game.
We were here last Thursday for that. And you could give a little assist to O'Neal Cruz there. God, does he stink out in the outfield.
What's up with that?
Well, he's got no position, and they just threw him in center field. He can't field. He can hit. I mean, he hit 2 rockets last night for homers for the Pirates, but he cannot field whatsoever. 3-2, like what? I don't have any problem with what they've done so far. Oh, thank you so much. You can get a free Miller Lite.
Tom, you want to come in here and talk
every
about the Phillies?
Time you get in. Come on,
get in here.
Come over here for a second.
Talk about the Phillies here for a little.
Well, I don't know.
Everybody, you guys have always heard us talk about Tommy behind the bar here. This is Tommy.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Tommy.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, wait a second now here. You're a podcast pro now. I saw you put some pictures out the other day that you were in the Bar Space podcast.
Yeah.
You were on something.
The Bartender Bangers podcast.
So
it's going to be taking place 3 weeks from now. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Yeah, it should be fun. But Phillies, they're not looking ideal. The offense is sputtering a little bit. I liked Andrew Painter's start last night. He went 5 1/3.
100-1 to win the NL Cy Young. Go get it.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. Put your money down, put your chips down right now. But cautiously optimistic with the lineup we have. I think we just got to get a couple of series wins under us, and we'll be back where we're supposed to be.
I concur. Phillies are going to be just fine. We have nothing to worry about with the Phillies. And Adalis Garcia finally homered last night.
Finally.
40 homers for Garcia this year.
Love to see it.
It's coming.
Love to see it. All right.
Tommy, you're the best.
Well, there you go, folks. We're going to do this probably every week now. Philly segment with Tommy.
Philly segment.
Tommy Hunterbar. Phillies with Tommy right here.
Especially when that 76ers Knicks first round series, you get the Sixers and the Knicks in the first round. You're a Sixer fan too, right?
Did a good job there, man.
Tom, you like the Sixers or the Knicks now that they've gotten you in? Still the Knicks. So okay, right. So he's not going to go there on that point.
What's the name of the podcast coming out?
Bartender Bangers.
Bartender Bangers.
Yep. Tommy's going to be on it. I saw it on the
Nice.
gram. I saw him put up the pics on the gram.
All right.
He's going to be on, which is outstanding. But the Mets, it is what it is. I'm not. And do we need to boo Bichette the first 3 or 4 days of the season? Can you let the guy? If it was, and I had the same problem when the Yankee fans did this to Stanton when he came here, and that first week of the season they're booing the guy. Can you wait till May 1st? Can you have a bad month before you start booing him?
Maybe it's the whole Soto thing that they went through at the beginning of last year, and they're just traumatized by the whole thing. And
in the chat box, Tommy, by the way, everyone wants a Miller Lite now. Mr. Tommy, can I have a Miller Lite? John's asking on the chat box. So they're all ready.
got to get down here, buddy.
Can we wait a month?
I am all for waiting a month. I
got no problem booing players. But this is New York. Players deserve, there's plenty of times they deserve to be booed. 3 days into the season is a lot for
new
me.
Team, new system,
and at least
new uniform.
And at least he's got the one thing I really liked was at least he's one of these guys who he stood up afterwards.
Yeah.
They asked him about it, and that was his first New York test with the media was because they're going to try to poke you when you first get here and see if you can handle it. And I like the way he handled it because he was just like, I sucked. I deserve to be booed.
Hey,
which is fine.
By the way, I wouldn't have minded him in the pinstripes. So
sure.
I mean,
but I'm just saying there's a lot of guys who will come to this town. They won't play well the first couple of days. And if something like that happened to them, they could shut down quickly. And they'd be like, what am I doing here? This sucks. These guys are booing me. I've been here a week. At least he kind of rolled with it. It's just like, hey, I deserve to be booed. I sucked the last few days. And you need that as an attitude you need to play here. And I think that Bichette showed you that right out of the gate, that he's going to have the right mindset to play in this town. And that's, even though it's a tough start, that's I think that that's a big takeaway going forward.
Yeah, Mets fans just need to kind of chill
because he is going to hit.
Yeah, I mean, but the whole lineup has changed here. You know what I'm saying? These are new guys getting acclimated with each other. It's not the same lineup as last year. It's different. It's a different it's a different locker room. Let's just put it that simple. Look, Bichette's a pro. Look, he's played in the AL East for years, obviously with Toronto. He knows about coming down here to New York and all that other stuff. He's going to handle himself fine. He's coming off a pretty major injury, and he's got a lot of weight on his shoulders here, getting the contract, coming in here. So it's going to be fine. Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I know he's been getting a knock on his defense and everything else, but at the end of the day, like I said, look, we're what do we say? 6 games in for most.
Not even,
it's like
5, 6. It's just everyone. Let's just like big exhale.
And I would say it's just New York fans and stuff, but this
happens in
the
Philly,
same
it happens in Boston, it happens in certain cities.
Boston, they're losing their minds. They think the season's done already.
Well, they gotta. Well, you know what? Wouldn't be the worst thing if it was, but they need to calm down too. They're off to a 1-4 start, and they've had a rough couple days here to kick things off.
The playoffs last year.
One other thing in baseball before you start talking about all the stuff that's going to be going on here at Borrelli's. We are 5 or 6 days in, a weekend. I'm sure you've gotten a good look at all the ABS, the umpire reviews.
Man. Yep.
It's very interesting. And you had a situation the other night in the Yankee game, and I forget what the home plate umpires did. But what the Yankees, they challenged like 5 in a row, and they were right on every single one because the guy was calling low strikes, and they were low. I mean, the balls were low. You had the CB Buckner thing.
Oh, yeah.
In the well, CB Buckner was the Red Sox game over the weekend.
Behind the plate and on first base.
And Cora got thrown out because it just went in. And Buckner had a whole nother problem last night on the base paths. So
he's all over the TV.
But I think he's rattled now. And that's was going to be my thing I was going to say to you. This is a good thing in terms of getting the calls right in the game. But, man, this thing must really piss these umpires off already. It's a weekend, and you can tell they are not going to like this. And I think it's going to lead to people getting – these guys they are very thin-skinned, most of these MLB umpires. And they're going to start getting embarrassed by these ABS calls, just like the guy did in Seattle the other night in the Yankee game. You could tell he was getting embarrassed by it. And I think you're going to see things like, especially the more veteran guys like the Buckners, et cetera, and you saw it with Corey get run. They're going to be running. They're going to be quicker triggers to throw guys out of games. The umpires are going to get embarrassed by this entire thing. Just go to let's let every pitch, let them say it in their ear, Paul, if it's a ball or a strike. Just look at how fast that they get this ABS thing going. I think it's a great start, but I think they're going to have to tweak it going forward because I think they're going to have a problem with the umps.
Or or it might force the umpires to be better.
Maybe that happens. And I think that that's something that will take some time. We're only a week in, and maybe that will happen. But just watching some of these guys over the first couple days, especially the more veteran umpire.
Yeah, you saw the stats they were putting up.
They are going to really be grumpy about this, that they're constantly getting kind of – I think they're going to look at it as if you do it once or twice, and when you're banging them every couple pitches, I think you're going to start to see them really get frustrated.
All right, a lot of things here. We've talked about in other sports, right? When the decision is made in the league,
right?
They've obviously had the meetings. They have reasons for doing this stuff. So it's not like the umpires were blindsided by this. They ran it through preseason. There were meetings prior to this. They were going to bring.
Yeah,
this
they
in.
knew it was happening.
They've been talking about this for a couple of years, so they knew this was eventually going to come down the road. And as far as series rotations, the umps are always kind of rotating and stuff like that. What I'm happy about more than anything is the flow of the game is pretty good, and I think it's not as easy. Like I only can imagine like getting up there, right, and you're facing 90 and 100-mile-an-hour pitches, and to have that extra skill set now, either as a pitcher or catcher or primarily a hitter, to make that call, that split-second call, right. And umpires have been doing that. That's their career, is to make that split-second call, pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch. I think it's going to balance out. I think it's going to hopefully make the umpires better. I think maybe, if anything, like I said, worried about scrutiny, what CB went through the whole thing. Like, these guys got to take a deep breath here. And maybe I got to get sharper and get better in there. And then hopefully this will round out the game going forward. It's been fun too for the fans, and I think it's an entertaining part of the game now too. It's not happening every inning. It's not happening in every
and it
bat.
is quick, as you mentioned. It's a very fast process.
You can sit there and watching Max Fried's game last night. It was enjoyable. He pitched a fantastic game last night, and it wasn't necessarily like he was aided by ABS or it didn't really have an effect on it. He just threw a hell of a game. So as far as the purity of pitching and everything else, and as far as the at-bats and the games and how everything's running, I think it's been a really nice touch. And I hope for the latter, and that means that it will improve the game as far as the umpires, and maybe they know that they got to get in there. Right. And if their pride's involved and their scrutiny's involved, then they're going to lock in better, and hopefully we get a better product going forward. And maybe that'll be something we look for in 3 months to 6 months to see where the ABS numbers go. Do they go down or do they go up?
Right. See if the guys do improve off of it. Because just as an example, the first year that they did the pitch clock, where there was some adjustment early on, and I think everyone was kind of nervous about, is this going to ruin the game? Is it going to take forever? Is it going to be things? Within a month, you barely saw it come into play anymore. Like, guys just got it going.
Yeah.
I just look at it from the ump aspect of knowing how some of these, especially more grizzled veteran guys are they going to start taking it extremely personally when teams are tapping the heads constantly and they're wrong, and I could just see it being from an umpire side of things, where
you can flip that around too. I mean, the batter is taking a chance too. He's got to be right. Because if he's wrong, then he looks like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I think it can balance itself out. It can be an even way. I think right now, I haven't looked at the numbers, but it's primarily been batters have been making the calls. I haven't seen too many catchers.
Yes, it's the majority are batters making the calls so far. And I saw one last night. I think it was obviously the closest one. You can't get any closer than this. It was less than an inch. It was Kerry Carpenter last night in the Tiger Diamondback game. And Carpenter, to his credit, it was, the guy banged him out. Carpenter tapped. And you know how they show where exactly the ball is?
Yeah.
It had less than 1 inch on it, and he got a ball on it. And then the next pitch, another ball walked. So he ended up, instead of getting the strikeout, he got the walk. But I don't think you're going to see closer all year than the Kerry Carpenter one last night for the Tiger. So there is some cool aspects.
And the good thing is, man, is more than anything, like the pitch clock that you brought up to, it's not disrupting the game.
I thought the pitch clock was going to be awful. And I will now, a couple years later, I am willing to admit my mistakes. It's been good. It has not deterred the game. It has not made the game worse. I have no problem with with the pitch clock now.
And
It's
I
better.
think we all kind of like that 2-hour baseball game now. And,
Listen, 2 hours and 20 minutes is better than 3 hours and 45 minutes.
and I know everybody knocks the second
there are
base lead
there
in
are
the
a
extra
lot.
innings.
I hate.
I know, but
I'll never like that.
I still dig it for the regular season because it just keeps things going. As long as they don't have it in the playoffs.
I understand that, but it's just like I don't like that we play by a different set of rules in the reg. And it's the same reason why I don't like the shootout in hockey. I don't like that we play the regular season with a different set of rules than the playoffs.
Well,
You
because
shouldn't have to do that.
this gets back to the business side of things
of how long the game takes.
and everything gets us being dads and kids
right.
and baseball games
You don't
being
want
late,
4-hour games.
getting out of
I
there during the
understand.
season because the regular season is a different beast.
It serves its
the way it
purpose,
churns,
but it's dopey.
yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, like
Putting an imaginary
the
guy
NHL is the same
starting
thing
on
too.
second base.
Do you really want to
is-
be there on a Tuesday or Wednesday night and
No,
Islanders
waiting
go
for
into 4
overtimes
overtimes
in a
against
regular
the
season
Winnipeg
game?
Jets?
No, of course not.
Or like
And
the Rangers and the Devils. I mean, let me say the Rangers and the Leafs now. If they played a game here and it went to triple overtime on a Tuesday night,
Chesty entering Golden Gloves, pal. Is he getting in the Golden Gloves competition?
so dumb. The NHL is so
More
dumb
goalie
sometimes.
fights this
I
season
told you,
than the
ratings.
last 15, 20 years combined. I saw this morning.
And that's all it was in the post game. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
it. And your boy JT Miller, really proud of him the other day. Look at what he's been through in this building and all that. Calm down.
a goalie fight. They've got 70, 100 pounds of gear
Right, it's the
on.
highlight of the Rangers season last night. That goalie fight was just dirty.
I tell you what,
Highlight of
the young
season.
kids have been looking good.
They
So,
have.
it's-
We'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get that later.
All right, so there you go. ABS with baseball. All right, Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. We'll come back. We have a lot to do. Final Four, Islanders, several other things. Aaron Glenn that I want to try to get to before we get out
John
of here today.
Tortorella.
Torts is back in Vegas. Unbelievable. We will get there as well. All right, Paulie, why don't you let everybody know what's going to be going on at Borrelli's?
Once again, we are broadcasting live every Wednesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. East, except for today. 912 West Beach Street here in Long Beach, on Long Island, in the great state of New York, in the U.S. of A. It's Wednesday, so that means tomorrow's Thursday, which is Carnival night here at Borrelli's. And for $42.99, you get a choice of veal, pork, or steak, with a choice of salad or soup and dessert. And you also get bottomless beers and endless wines for $42.99. That's right, folks. Get the choppers out. Come down here for Carnival night on Thursday. All right, now the weekend's coming up, and that's always got live music, entertainment, something going on, right? And that means Tommy, is this? I can't read your. Is this Tommy Bauer? Tom Bauer. Tom Bauer. Tom Bauer is going to be here on Friday at 7 p.m. Live music. And then on Saturday, DJ Tucci is going to be here at 10 p.m. And then Sunday, no entertainment because it is Easter, ladies and gentlemen. But come down for Easter brunch and dinner here at Borrelli's, open at 11 a.m. It's going to be beautiful down here. So come on down for a great Easter Sunday here at Borrelli's. And don't forget, all the sports, Final Four coming up, all the baseball, Yankees and Mets, all kinds of buckets specials here, in addition to all the great food they have down here at Borrelli's all weekend long, every week. And don't forget, anytime you come into Borrelli's, it could be in the morning, it could be at night, it could be midday, mention the Carver and Cuthbert podcast, and you get a free Miller Lite draft. And go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com for everything that's going on up here. We got some great comedy coming up. Unfortunately, David Attell is sold out on April 27th. And we've also got Ian Finance coming in on 4/29. I think there's a couple of tickets left for that. He's a funny guy, by the way. I checked him out on YouTube the other day. And then Colin Quinn on April 15th is sold out. And don't forget, Pasta Night returns here on April 1st. That's always a sold-out thing. But go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com, try to get tickets. And Music Theme Nights return here on April 8th with Billy Joel, Songs from an Italian Restaurant. And Bruce Springsteen Music Night debuts here on April 22nd. Always free admission, great specials. So come on down. And I'll talk a little bit more about those theme nights a little later on in the show. There you go, Mike.
There it is. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio here at Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Yes, Carnivore night tomorrow night. Look out. Getting involved. I got to come down for Carnivore night.
Didn't we have a bet?
We did,
What was the
which
bet?
was
Did I lose
we
that
already.
bet? I lose that bet because you were supposed to buy me steak dinner.
No, wasn't it something for the whole season with the Yankees? I thought it was something for the whole season. No, Purdue Final Four. Was it Purdue Final Four?
That's right. Yeah.
Winner.
Yeah, that's right.
They didn't quite make it.
No.
Purdue lost to Arizona in the Elite Eight. So
Oh man, my bracket just got shredded.
yeah,
there.
listen, that's
Tossed
the way
on the
that it goes
ground.
sometimes. They get shredded fairly quickly. And Purdue had a lead. They were in over, then Arizona took over in the second
I
half.
did all right into the Elite Eight and stuff, and then just fell apart.
Well, look, of all the games, we had Arizona come back and beat Purdue, and we ripped them up in the second half. You had Michigan completely steamroll Tennessee on Sunday. You had Illinois get the job done again, of course, on Saturday as well against Iowa. And then you had this classic UConn-Duke game late Sunday afternoon where it looked like Duke was going to run away and hide through the first half and really the first couple of minutes of the second half. And then here come the Huskies coming all the way back, beating Duke, stunning Duke. I still cannot understand what Duke was doing in the last 10 seconds of that game that allowed all of that to go on.
Now, I didn't get to see any post-game press conferences. Did the Duke coaching staff or the players talk about what happened? Ultimately, look, we've seen this in sports over and over again. It doesn't matter. It's a human game, and guys and gals make decisions, and sometimes there are mental breakdowns. It happens. Fifth inning, World Series, New York Yankees. But as far as the game plan there with possession,
Well, look, there's two
what are we
things.
doing?
There's two things that stick out the most, obviously. Number one is Shire had a timeout still to use, which when you start to see that things aren't quite developing, maybe you should use it. Although they were developing so fast and Boozer threw the ball, I think it's letting the kid know there's no reason to throw the ball all over the place. With the amount of time that's left, just hold on to the ball. Let them foul you. Let the clock run down. You didn't have to. There was no need to run and get the ball to the other side of the court.
unless
At
he
that
was
point.
told to do that.
That would be something that John Shire.
I do believe there was something that there was like a motion.
Right. Well, Shire was, he was motioning for him to get the ball moving. And they didn't need to do that. And they paid for it. Now, look, Mullins still had to hit a 35-footer even after the turnover. A lot of things
True.
had to go wrong for Duke in the last 10 seconds of that game, and they did. But it also comes back, when you blow a game like that, we focus so much on something like that last 10 seconds and the turnover and the 35-footer. But there were so many things that led to it. I mean, simple things, and this happens in college basketball all the time, and it's what makes college basketball so different from the NBA. They can't make free throws. They can't. These college kids cannot shoot free throws efficiently. You saw it in a bunch of games, and you saw Duke down the last 3-4 minutes of that. They can't make free throws, and they can't. And you're giving points away, and you're letting the other team just continue to have. You're breathing more life in them as they continue to go on and on. And then you get to that point where you shouldn't be in a situation where a crazy turnover and a 35-footer sends you home. But sure enough, it happens to you. And an unbelievable job by UConn to get it done, and an absolute melt for the second year in a row by Duke, who had no business losing to Houston in the Final Four last year, and somehow they pulled it off in the second half. And now the second year in a row, they had no business losing this game to UConn, and they did it. And if I'm John Shire, I better have myself a really big year next year. And I mean win the national championship type of big year, because he has not done an awful job, obviously, since taking over for Coach K. And that's a very hard thing to do, to take over for a legend. And he has gotten him to a Final Four, and he's gotten, but the fashion in which they have lost the last 2 years, there is a very large light that is shining on John Shire next year with the Duke program, because you also factor in all of the talent that has come through there, even since he's been the head coach, and they have won nothing in terms of a national championship. So very big year for Shire next year, because that is 2 horrendous melts by him the last 2 years in those spots.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up the free throws, you bring up basic general fundamentals there, decision making. I mean, and you can just sit back and reflect as a fan. You've watched so many games in the past, and you've seen the same mistakes made. And what marvels me about that the other night was, how did that happen? With you spend so many hours and minutes in the coachings, and there's so many game situations, and you get to that, and it was so simple. It couldn't have been more simple. You had the ball.
Yeah.
Just hold the ball and just walk 5 feet. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, but again, like I said, there was emotion there, but like I said, it was a split second thing, but it's amazing. You can't take away the comeback though from UConn to put themselves in that position to make it that close at the end. And maybe, who knows, they were just shell shocked. Duke was just shell shocked, couldn't believe what was going on. And then again, Mullen with the amazing shot. And that's the beauty of basketball.
And look, and part of this is
great moment in sports.
It is. It was the moment of the tournament, obviously.
Now, what about Hurley going up and hitting the official with his head? Well, what's that all about? And there's no call.
That's it.
What is
very,
that?
very bizarre. Now, I know Hurley was probably kidding around when he said this yesterday.
Matter.
No, he was asked about it, obviously, and then yesterday he made, I would guess as a half-ass joke, said, "I thought the ref was coming to chest bump me." Like that
would be very unprofessional.
I mean, he had his head right. He put his head right on him. Now, I thought the really bizarre thing about it was that was still in the scope of the game. There was still whatever it was, 2 or 3/10 of a second left on the clock. And I would never condone a game ending this way, but isn't that is it a technical foul? You touch the ref like that? I don't know.
What are we watching here?
But whatever it is, it was so weird what happened. And he was fined for it too. So obviously, but there's not going to be anything beyond that. He is an absolute.
Who fined him, by the way? Was it the NHL player safety?
He is a tremendous coach. I know that we're not breaking ground here. He's won 2 national championships at UConn already. Yep. And part of that is just, I don't know if he's the best X's and O's guy. And we were talking about this on the Bet River show there on Monday after it happened. I don't know if he's the best X's and O's, but he gets every ounce and the emotion, and you see him yelling like a maniac, and what he did with the ref shouldn't happen. But
he's young, man. He's got a long career ahead of him too.
And he is, you say it like it is what it is. He is the best in the business right now. Whether you like it or not, Hurley is the best coach in college basketball. Hands down, point blank, finished. You can tell me all these other guys who have been around forever and all that. He's already won 2, and I know he's the dog this weekend, which they love. And and in the odds, UConn's 4th out of the 4 teams. Michigan and Arizona are awesome. Illinois is favored against them on Saturday night. It would not stun me if they win again, and they win both games this weekend.
Let me ask you this:
it would not stun me.
How does this, if he goes on to win the national championship here? Now you look back at what Pitino's accomplished with St. John's. It really kind of just pushes that way aside.
Well, look, I think if he wins this weekend, you start to have conversations in the forget right now, in the all-time space is where you start to have conversations. And, this is a little bit bigger picture than this. You look at what UConn has done altogether.
Yeah, the
in the last 30 years, and the women's team's a machine, and they what Gino's obviously won a billion times. But I'm saying the men's. Yep. You look at what they've done in the last 30, 35 years. People talk about North Carolina, Kansas, Duke, Blue Bloods, blah 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 blah. UConn's won more than any of them put together in the last 30 years now. They're the blue blood of college basketball. And it's so bizarre because they had this thing where they left the Big East, went to the American, like weird stuff with conferences back in the Big East now, obviously. And who knows for how long, because I do think that the time's going to come where one of these Big Four power conferences is eventually going to, because they have a football program, unlike all the other Big East schools, someone is eventually going to put the money on the table and probably pull them out of there at some point, which I be bad. And I don't know if, they wouldn't want to take both. They want all the programs. Mm-hmm. They've got a great thing. And I think they can win this weekend. I think they're going to beat Illinois on Saturday night. They're dogs.
I'd be very afraid of UConn right now, rest of the way.
I would be very afraid of UConn. Does Illinois have more talent man for man than UConn? Yes. Michigan and Arizona, 1,000% have more talent man for man than UConn. So did Duke on Sunday.
But you bring up a great point.
So did Duke.
Hurley is a unique coach, and he gets a lot out of his players. And that goes a long way matched against talent and heart, will, playing to the last second, last play. And
he's got guys. Caravan was there for both titles. Mm-hmm. And I know Caravan is not going to be as high a pick as some guys that are on Michigan and Arizona. He's a winner. Mm-hmm. He wins. And sometimes that matters more in this tournament, mm-hmm. is that. And I think they're going to win Saturday, and I think they're going to play on Monday night against the winner of Michigan, Arizona, which for me, Paulie, is, I know tomorrow we'll probably do more like the who you got type of stuff, but mm-hmm. that is going to be a classic game, I think, Saturday night. Yeah. Michigan, Arizona game. And I know a lot of people want to do the whole, this is the winner of this is winning the title. This is the national championship game. Well, be very careful, because I would not doubt UConn in any aspect whatsoever. And I'm already putting them past Illinois just because I think they're going to beat Illinois. Illinois has had an unbelievable run. I destroy this guy Underwood all the time. I think he's a box of rocks when it comes to end-of-game decisions. Luckily for him, he hasn't had to do that in any of these games. They blitzed Houston last week in the Sweet 16 game. They got extended against Iowa on Saturday. They haven't had a spot where they're down 2 or up 2 with a minute left. That's where I think you really should see the bad side of Brad Underwood. Yep. And look, they could win too. Illinois has got incredible talent on their team. Any 4 of these teams can win the national championship on Monday night. Mm-hmm. And yes, Michigan and Arizona are ahead of the other 2 just in terms of sheer talent. And man, Dusty May's he's an incredible coach for Michigan. Mm-hmm. Dusty May, he took Florida Atlantic to the Final Four a couple of years ago. He's a great coach. What Tommy Lloyd's done, and Lloyd's got his own problems this week because there's people talking about him with the North Carolina job, and he don't want to hear that. He's finally got Arizona back in the Final Four. It's the last thing anyone wants to talk about this week if you're from Arizona. It's going to be a fun Final Four this weekend. Those are 2 excellent games on Saturday night, and no matter what, I think you have a great national championship on Monday night.
Okay, and now with that said, because there was talk about, the nil affecting tournament, as far as upsets, all this other stuff.
Correct.
This is a pretty damn good Final Four. This is what you want. This is an incredible. These are 4 great teams.
Incredible Final Four.
And the Sweet 16 was excellent. The Elite 8 was excellent. The games have been fantastic. They've been great games. I think the broadcasting has been pretty damn good too. And it's been a great tournament. And like I said, you still got 3 huge games left here. And I'm not on the level of my favorite sports. Basketball is down at the lower end of it. But I've really, really enjoyed all the basketball this season, especially the last 2 seasons, obviously, with the Johnnies and the success with Patino and everything else. Right. It's gotten me back into it. I know it's gotten look, there is a ton of us bandwagon St. Johnny's fans because, hey, look, they were just awful. They've been awful for a long time. But, it's just great to see them back. And it's – I'm just saying in a sense of enjoying the game and the sport, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. And I've become more of a basketball fan, and I will be more of a basketball fan going forward here. In addition to, like I said, watching the Knicks from afar and all that other stuff. But on the college level here, the game has been great. And I have absolutely loved college football these last few years too. Huge fan of it. So the games have been great. I'm happy with it, and I think most of us as fans too. Even if your team doesn't get into it, the Johnnies didn't make it, but you have to love the game. You have to love the games that have been played, and you have to respect the talent and these last 4 teams that have made it here.
It's a great Final Four.
Yeah,
it really is. Last year you had all 4 1s make it. Good Final Four. This year you have 2 1s and a couple of teams that absolutely are near the top of the sport. It's a great couple games, and it should be a fun weekend in Indianapolis. All right, few other things. The Islanders. So they lost in Buffalo last night, and I know John's funny. He said, your Isles ruined my Sabres puck line bet with 1 second left. Why would they do that to me? Yeah, you deserved the puck line last night, John. You absolutely did deserve that in that aspect. But 4-3, they lose in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Monday night, though, is the real thing. 8-3 with the Penguins.
And what was a week before? 7 goals against the Canadians, right?
Right. That's a couple Saturdays ago.
I'm going to let you start it, and then I'll jump in here a little bit. My take. Go ahead.
Look, I just every time that I want to try to, calm down the fire, because everyone is really upset, obviously, because it's kind of a double-edged sword. It feels like whenever they win, everyone else wins. Whenever they lose, everyone else loses. Like they're not gaining the ground. They're not. It's just kind of been the way of the East. But you look at it, Paul. I mean, now the Penguins with that win, and the Penguins won again last night in Detroit too. So now it's their turn. They've extended a little bit with 92. So the Islanders have 89. Columbus has 88. Ottawa, Detroit have 86. The Flyers have 86. Washington has 85. Columbus has been kind of letting go of the rope too.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 4 in a row, and they've played 7 games in 11 days, and you could just see it in them. They are tired.
Mm-hmm.
The Islanders have all these home games coming up over their last 6 games. I think 5 of them are at home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 6 at home.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game with the Flyers on Friday night that they're going to have. I know everybody wants to burn the place down. I get it, because it was so bad Monday night. So bad. Awful loss, especially at home. A 3-1 lead in the second period. You give up 7 straight goals.
Yeah.
And it's bad, but you have to look at the big picture still. You have to try as best as you can to just say, this is over with. Everyone else lost. We got a break last night. We're still in the 3 spot. We still have 89 points. We still have teams behind us that we need to just forget this and focus on getting our next 2 points and continuing to stay ahead of everybody. That's all you can do at this point. You can't sit there and say the season's over, because guess what? It's not. There's 6 games left, and you're still in a spot right now. It's not like you're 3 points out and you're chasing 4 teams, because that's what the Flyers are doing. That's what Detroit's doing. That's what Washington's doing. That's what everyone. You're in the spot. You got to forget about the other night, refocus, and just win your games. That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
That's the positive way to look at it.
Positive way.
Positive way to look at it.
I think there's some
positive thinking.
bigger
positive
concerns that you have to kind of look at right now.
Yes.
If you're a serious hockey club, you can't be having this kind of stretch here. And you can't be giving up that many goals. You can't be having those kind of breakdowns. You're also, as great as the kid has been, you've got a
but you talk about the bad stretch, but you remember the 2 games before that, they beat the Panthers and the Stars on Thursday and Sunday.
Okay,
so
Stars are on the road trip.
It's
Panthers are a
an
bad
up
team.
And down. It's an up and down.
I know, but I think there's some red flags you guys need to be concerned about, because
all these teams have red flags.
All right, but we're talking about the Islanders. We're talking about your Islanders, who are basically being anchored by an 18-year-old kid, rookie here.
He's the anchor, all right.
Who is, I think, maybe getting a little burnt out here. And I brought this up about a week or 2 ago, that they better be careful with him. Well, better be careful with him, because he's averaging like 32 minutes a game. Yeah, he's young and everything, but this is the NHL level. This is hard. This is tough. And there is definitely
played 29 minutes last night.
Yeah, man. And once the regular season ends, the playoff rounds go up 10 notches as far as the energy level, what you got to put out emotionally and everything else. And nobody's messing around in those games either, too. So I don't know. I think there's a couple of concerns for me is
Sorokin's, it's playing him every night is starting to wear down a
Well,
little bit
look, the Canadian game and the Pittsburgh, there's a massive defensive breakdown.
too. Susie stinks, by the way. He's a traffic cone. He
Drury
stinks.
knew. Drury's looking actually pretty good here with the couple weeks of the season.
He's got a couple Golden Glove guys in his locker room too.
Things are going good.
Shesty. So
I'm just going to say this, and I know about a month ago I was joking around. This is a lock, and I still think the Islanders are going to make the playoffs. But their play of late at this time of the year, if you're a serious hockey club, you can't be having games that stand out like that. Massive defensive breakdowns. And we're going to see what happens here, right? What they got left here at home. But if you're talking in the sense like, well, I'm hearing is, stay positive. They're going to make the playoffs. But if you're going to make the playoffs and then get blown out in the first round because you're burnt, you don't have a good defensive system, your goaltending is shaky, and you have a guy now, the ugly head of Patrick Roy, is coaching in the past, is starting to pop in here and out here as far as managing this team, keeping these guys together. But that Pittsburgh game was just awful. I mean, the Canadian game was bad, but the Pittsburgh game, it was a different kind of awful.
Third, I actually think it goes Penguin game, Blackhawk game, and then the.
You're at home, right? That's a team that's you're playing for as far as getting into the playoffs. A team that maybe you could end up one way or the other, maybe playing in a round or whatever. That's a team you got to beat at home, or you got to show everybody that you mean business.
Home ice doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't
It
matter.
mattered the other night when you're trying to lock in a playoff spot, right? And you're trying to show to the rest of the conference that you're a team that's going to be serious about and somebody to be concerned about playing. Like I was saying a month ago that the Islanders are a damn good hockey team and they're going to be a lot of trouble if they get in the playoffs. I don't have the feeling anymore. I think they're very beatable right now.
All these teams are about the same.
I don't know. Don't lump them in now.
No, that's true.
Don't lump them in.
Well, they're not any better than Columbus or Philadelphia or Ottawa or Detroit. None of these teams stick out better than any of the others.
And Detroit is just doing their usual dive.
Detroit's finished. They're on the downside of what they're doing.
What's his face is coaching them, right? What's his name?
Oh,
that guy never can get over the hump either. Man, he's unbelievable.
They got what's his face.
Coached the Sharks. He coached the Kings.
That's your boy.
I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But there's a reason he's blocked out of my mind because I think he's no good. And he always gets a gig.
Off the top, these teams change. Yeah, McClellan is the coach.
I was right.
Them. And you're right. He never crosses the finish line.
They got a lot of talent on Detroit. That's a good young team.
They got tons of talent. They never get it done. But honestly, you think that any of these other teams are going to go blown by the Islanders like that? Who are you nervous about? That's going to out of Columbus, Ottawa, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Washington. Who's blowing by them?
Look, the Islanders play right now is just very inconsistent. It's erratic.
I don't disagree with that.
So
5-5 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row.
So that's my concern as far as how they're going to finish this out. And also, if they do get in, how are they going to perform in the first round?
Philly's playing well. I know Philly lost last night to Washington.
They're causing trouble.
Philly's causing trouble.
Rangers are causing trouble.
Well, you know what? They play, like I said, Friday night. Isles are home for Philly. You got a couple days to think about it. And you get back out there. It's a must. Every game's a must do points now, pretty much.
I just need to see them just get serious about this. Like, how many games left?
They have 6.
Win 5 out of 6. Win 4 out of 6. Lock this thing up. Win the next 3 or 4 in a row. Let's go.
I would say at minimum, you have to win at minimum. To get in, I would say 4 out of the 6. That's 8 points. That would get you to 97. I think that's at minimum you have to ask for. And with 5 out of the 6 games at home, as much as I say home ice doesn't really matter anymore, you have to win 4 out of the 6 games. And you got to win the right ones too, like the Flyer one. Like you got to win the right ones when you play. Like they have a Columbus game left also. They do not. So they have Flyers, Hurricanes, Leafs, Senators, Canadians, and Canes. So they play Carolina twice in those 6 games.
The Canes are playing really good too, I believe.
Right. So that's the hard part of it. Look, if you ask me right now, what do I think is going to happen?
You can't predict it because, as you said,
I-
it's swinging back and forth too
it
much.
swings back and forth. It's
The
crazy.
rest of the teams, like they're not the only team that's stinking up the joint. Here
I'd have
at
to
the end.
really,
But the Penguins are looking good. All right.
Penguins have gotten the. Who do the Penguins have? The Penguins have an extra game left too. They only have 75. Tampa, Florida, Devils, Caps.
And look at the Canadians,
Yeah,
man.
they
They've
got
won
such
6 in a row. Canadians won 6 in a row.
Yeah, they're actually
Marty
2 points.
St.
They're 2 points back at Tampa
Louis.
for the second. 4 points back at Buffalo
How
for
about
first.
those 100-point Buffalo Sabres?
Congrats to them.
And how
They have
about
had a. Can they win the
100-point
division
season
for me?
Celebrini 101.
Can they win the division for me, please?
Yeah, no, you
Plus
want that bad.
750.
I think so, buddy. I think so.
2 points up with, like we said, a couple games. Then they play Tampa Monday night in Buffalo. So they got them one more
Watch
time at
that
home.
game.
But we got to think about Montreal too. They're 4 points back of the
Yeah.
ball.
No, I think
Buffalo
Buffalo
play
will do it.
Montreal at all last week.
Buffalo will do it.
They do not. No more. No more.
I'd
games
have to
with
say
Montreal.
Lindy and the boys want it. They want that.
That was my whole point with making that bet was for a team that hasn't made the playoffs in forever, winning the division would be like that is something huge. Like Tampa, they don't care if they win the division or not. They know the deal. Cooper and those guys know wherever they are, as long as they're in the 8, they can go to the Stanley Cup
As long as
final.
Kucherov and Val
They're not worried about going into any barn.
Vasilevsky are healthy. That's all they need.
Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach. Are
we going to talk about
island.
Vegas?
Yeah, you know what? Before I do it, let's do that. So Vegas does something, and it's very Vegas-like because they make very bold moves. And since they've been a franchise, I don't think they've done one this bold. This was Devils Larry Robinson type of stuff. Remember when the Devils?
Yeah.
fired-
That's a great
Who
point.
they fired? Was it Burns they fired that year and put Larry Robinson?
Yeah.
I forget who it was that late. I might be thinking even further back. Was it Lemaire or when did they do that?
Obviously, would have been one
I
of
would
those
have
guys.
to go and look. I don't
Was
wanna
Fatork
go-
part of that too? I think Fatork had a good season one year, and they brought somebody in too.
Who did the Devils fire for? But either way,
But
while I look this up-
Lamoriello used to do that. He went behind the
Right.
bench one year too.
But Vegas has had this thing now where they are super aggressive with this stuff. And with less than 10 games left in the regular season, to chop out a guy who won you a cup a couple of years ago in Cassidy and say, yeah, we're done with you. That we don't like what we've seen. It's been very, like you just said, stagnant, flatline. There's ups, there's downs. There's never a good run of play. And to bring in the madman known as Torts, who, and I think this factored in, and I saw some people bring this up, and I agree. There's a lot of guys on that Vegas team who were with USA at the Olympics. Eichel, Hannafin, there's a bunch of guys who played USA. You must have thought that there was some endorsement for them being with Torts at the Olympics to say, let's go with this.
Torts
Let's
being
go
an
with
assistant
this.
coach as opposed to a head coach is a different beast.
But he's there with the guys on the bench, and he's got and there's some, there's something there, and I love this. I love that they're like, this is not we're going to reassess this at the end. We're going to see how this goes. This is not beyond this year. He's taking over for the rest of the regular season and the playoffs, and then we'll talk about it after. And you got a Torch ready to go. And does this change your feeling of Vegas going into the postseason?
No, it doesn't for me. And I have to, as much as I love Torts, and I know he's a class act, especially off the ice and everything else. But being a fan of his, I've watched the pre-season speeches by Torts. And this goes back to obviously when he was
Robbie
coach of the
Fedoruk, by the way.
Rangers. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Thank you.
2000, March 23rd.
That's how old I am.
March 23rd.
I remember when he came in and he talked the whole spew about, when he was in Vancouver. We all know how that turned out.
Right.
Went to Columbus, same thing. When I started getting a little, and this relates to, I'm going to talk about this real quickly as far as, I watched his press conference before he started coaching. And he repeats and says a lot of the same stuff. Like he came into Philly and he talked about the aura of being a Flyers coach and the history and everything. And it just went, same thing. It's just like, Torts has this great promise in the beginning. And then he's just been consistently, he just sails down, man. It's just, his trend goes way down. Maybe this, because it's a short span. I think you bring up a good point because the USA hockey team and the guys on the lineup.
Yep.
It's a very talented team.
Super talented.
They have awful goaltending. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, Torts can't go in the nets there. I don't know what they're going to do there. He's gonna have to work miracles in that. But I was just really bored of what he was saying the other night. To me, it's just like, oh, it's the same thing here. Whatever. So let's see what happens here. The 8 games. Let's see what these guys do. And obviously, if he wins a playoff round with these guys, then yeah, then get back to me as far as Torts having an effect on this team. And can he do it with that goaltending tandem that he has there in Vegas, which has really been their Achilles heel this year?
That's the problem.
And is that really fair to Torts too? Was that unfair to Cassidy as a coach? Does that go back to the front office that they didn't get good goaltending? And good goaltending is very hard to get in the NHL. And even when you have it, Islanders, Rangers, it doesn't necessarily save your season, because even the best of the best, Vasilevsky's had his struggles, and we've had guys in the playoffs the last couple of years just, happen to be stars. Obviously, Bobrovsky has been unbelievable, but now he's, like I said, he's on the tail end. But he's played a ton of puck here the last few years too. I mean, the Panthers, it just goes to show how hard it is to repeat in the NHL, especially when 3. But anyway, with Torts, let's see what happens. We're gonna have some fun, right?
We're gonna have some fun. He started Hill the other night,
or it'll be the same old boring. Does the Torts thing get played out here?
Well, the thing about it being played out is there's not enough time for it to be played out. This is it. I mean, they're playing 6 games and then they're going into the playoffs. I mean, there's no time for it to be played out. It's not like it's December and there's 40 games left and there's time for him to
now. The last time Torts was
teams
in the playoffs was with Columbus that one year when they swept the Lightning, right?
I would have to say yes, because I don't believe
that's a long time ago.
He didn't play.
He has not really had a lot of success since he won the Cup back in the early 2000s.
Well, I mean, took those Rangers teams far. I understand that they didn't, but it's the Rangers
even that
back
was a long
off the
time
deck.
ago.
He's been, and look, he's been at so many stops in Vancouver.
What a train wreck that
disaster
was.
that was.
Except for the Calgary brawl.
Look,
that was awesome.
I think when you look at the scope of Columbus's history, hard to not say he's got the best win that they've had in franchise history. That sweep of the Lightning in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better? Now that was also wasn't that the COVID year?
With a team that had no business sweeping that team.
Or that was right before COVID. Right? That was the season before COVID, because then the Lightning went in the COVID year in the bubble and destroyed everybody the year after that. But still, that's the best win that franchise has ever had. So he's done that. Nothing happened in Philly, but was that totally his fault? Completely his fault? I don't know. I think this is a very intriguing situation and interesting to watch. And I know the West is going to be, the West is tough because of Colorado and Dallas and Minnesota. But guess what? All 3 of those teams, they're going to be on the other side of the tree from Vegas. Vegas is going to be on the side of the bracket with Anaheim and with Edmonton and with teams that they can beat when they're at their best. Torts could run Vegas to the West Finals against one of those behemoths on the other side, and that's going to be a tough task.
Not with the goaltender, man. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, but what about, do they have better goaltending than Edmonton?
Not really.
Do they have better goaltending than Anaheim?
Probably the same.
This is not, they're not playing big time teams on their side.
So, all right. So in fairness to what you're saying here, I think you're making a good point too. I think in the West, there really isn't a great goaltender that's standing out,
especially on their side.
Yeah,
they're not playing any of those teams till the West Finals.
So if we can go with the old NHL adage, if one of these guys can get hot, and if Torts can get these guys to play a better defensive game,
and
then maybe they can.
And they've got as much talent on their 1 through 18 that's going to be
is
skating.
Stone coming off? Is he injured?
Well, he'll be back for the. He's always back for the playoffs. That's for sure.
So what? Let me ask you this, just real quick on that. What do you think of ownership? How they've been running this thing in Vegas? Obviously, they've had a lot of success since they took over, and
they're maniacs, but they've won, so they've done the job.
Yeah.
So I can't.
They're like the Yankees of the hockey, right? As far as the old Yankees,
Yeah.
I'm saying their owner is Steinbrenner-like.
They're willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Yes.
And that is, Foley will do whatever it takes to win. And that's all that matters to him. And I love that. And in that town, I love that because you know what else he knows in that town? He's got baseball coming in there. He's going to eventually have NBA coming in there. He was the first one there, and he wants to make sure that brand stays as the team in town. Yes, the Raiders are there, but they suck so much they're like a tourist destination. The Knights, he wants the Knights to still be Vegas's team in town, even when all these other sports start to come in. And I think he's got that right now. Lindy for the Jack Adams. John, they should give it to him right now. They don't even have to have the award show. You walk right up, Lindy, here you go. Jack Adams, Coach of the Year. Buffalo Sabres are going to make the playoffs for the first time in forever, and they might even win the division and be first in the East on top of that.
Yeah, and Lindy himself has had a long, tough road to get back to this kind of success here, and I give him full marks, and for Buffalo as an organization, Pagula to give him a chance to come back here. So it's great to see.
We don't have a lot of time left. Can you tell everybody what's going on at Borrelli's here over the next couple of, and then I'm going to run out the door with a couple of quick things that I want to
and I hope you tell me what's going on with Jacksonville and Orlando in the NFL there, because I get it.
I can tell you that. Carver and Cuthbert Go Sports Radio from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Tell us, Paulie.
All right, we are broadcasting live from Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on Long Island, New York, every Wednesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Long Beach. And it's Wednesday, but that means tomorrow is Thursday, and it's Carnivore Night here at Borrelli's. Make sure you get down here for $42.99, and you get a choice of veal, pork, or steak, soup, or salad. Comes with a dessert, bottomless beers, endless wines, all for $42.99 right here at Borrelli's. We got live music this weekend with Tom Bauer here at 7 p.m. on Friday. On Saturday night, we have DJ Tucci at 10 p.m. And Sunday, there won't be any live music here because it's Easter, everybody. And if you don't have any Easter plans yet, come on down. Borrelli's will be open at 11 a.m. They've got great menu choices, brunch and dinner here at Borrelli's Taproom on Sunday. Go to Borrelli'sTaproom.com for all the information there. Some great comedy nights that are coming up here. A couple of them are sold out already, but just want to let you guys know. Keep an eye out at Borrelli'sTaproom.com. Follow Borrelli's Long Beach on IG too to keep in touch with what's going on with the comedy series. David Tell's coming in here. He's sold out. Colin Quinn's coming in here. I think he's just about sold out. There's some tickets left for Ian Fidance on April 29th. And so definitely check that out. And then Pasta Night's coming up here on April 1st. That's tonight. You know, it's crazy. I had these notes down here in March, and today is April 1st. So come on down for Pasta Night tonight at Borrelli's. Always a packed house here, and it's just a great entertaining night. All kinds of special. Learn how to make pasta. It's really good stuff. Music theme nights are returning here on Wednesdays. Billy Joel night is going to be here next week, April 8th. Okay, coming down for Songs from an Italian Restaurant. $21 pasta special, half-price bottles of wine, and the greatest hits of Billy Joel live here at Borrelli's. And the debut of Bruce Springsteen night will be here on April 22nd. Same thing, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for both shows, 7 to 9:30. Free admission. Going to be great specials as well, too. Boss specials on April 22nd. And I think that's it for now for this week. What's going on? Come down for all the Mets and Yankees games. All bucket specials. Come down for the Final Four. And come down and watch the Icelanders try and make a playoff spot. And we'll see how the Rangers finish out their youth for their Stanley Cup run next season, which will be very exciting, won't it, Mike?
Three quick things before we go, and of course, we'll be back tomorrow at noon.
You didn't get that Rangers thing?
Here
You're
at
excited about the
Borrelli's.
New York Rangers Stanley Cup run next year?
I didn't hear you mention
right.
that. I just saw this, and I know you'll like this because we know that this Ohtani's a freak, and this kind of makes it even more so. He currently has the longest active on-base streak in Major League Baseball, 36 straight games Ohtani has reached base, and that's as a hitter. And then as a pitcher, he currently has the longest active scoreless inning streak, 22 2/3. So he has both the longest active scoreless streak and the longest active getting on base streak at the same time.
Here's another Ohtani effect I just want to bring up. I was out at Dick's Sporting Good the other day getting some turf cleats for my son who's going to be playing middle school baseball. All the kids all wanted the New Balance.
Ohtani.
Yep.
What great – you talk about an investment.
It's just like it hit me there. I saw them all. They were like all New Balance, all New Balance. Unbelievable. They were, and the pair my son won were sold out.
Unbelievable. A couple of other things.
He's a good baseball player.
And like I said, we are back tomorrow. The Mets are going to start at 2:15. So just a 1 hour delay for the Mets. 2:15, the Mets will start today. So they're not going to completely downpour in St. Louis. The Yankees will start at 4 o'clock in Seattle before they come home for the home opener, which we'll talk about tomorrow. I think we should spend more time. We should save Aaron Glenn for tomorrow.
Yes.
And talking about how Geno Smith's going to take him to the promised land. I think that we have to – that doesn't feel like something that we should just spend 30 seconds on. I feel like tomorrow we can spend some more.
There was a tweet with Gino by the team, some kind of really
He's gonna take us to the promised land.
QB1. That's right.
Aaron
They
Glenn.
posted QB1.
Aaron Glenn. I'll give you a little preview for tomorrow, Paul. Aaron Glenn needs to stop talking. Now, I know he has to. Like, they were at these owners' meetings in Arizona this week. All the coaches go. Everybody talks. He needs to stop talking because the stuff that he says is just so ridiculous. But we'll touch on that more tomorrow. And I know you texted me about this. Tiger stepping away from golf. And I know that's also probably
We were
something.
so excited.
There's
about
also
a week
probably
ago.
something that needs more than 30 seconds before we leave. But he will not be at the Masters next week, which I could have.
Well, if he's
predicted when
going,
this
somebody
happened.
better drive him there.
He won't be going. And I knew he wouldn't be going because if there's one thing that those people in Augusta do not like, they do not like anything distracting or taking away from their golf course and their tournament. And that is why they were not going to want Tiger showing up for the Champions Dinner and everybody asking him about his accident and his problems. And so Tiger doing the right thing. I'm sure there was a lot of influence from a lot of places with Tiger to do this. And it should be just for himself, honestly, to do what he's going to be doing. The Masters do not like distractions. They want the focus to be the azaleas and the green grass and the walk down. They don't want anybody talking about anything else but that. And
As it should be.
And with Tiger not going there next week, now that's precisely what they'll get. I'm sure the name will still come up. Oh, they're not having Tiger. They're going to ask every player who comes through that thing. Oh, isn't it said not having Tiger here? Rory, your first Champions there. You don't have Tiger at the dinner.
Journalists aren't going to be able to help themselves.
I'll tell you this. They will sneak Tiger into the Champions dinner. No, they probably they won't because they take the big picture with everybody out there on the table. He won't be there. Hopefully Tiger gets the help that he needs going forward. All right, Paulie, we're back tomorrow. Noon East. Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert, Borrelli's Taproom in Long Beach on the island. Talk about the Mets and the Yankees today. And, of course, Final Four going into the weekend. Yankee home opener on Friday. Very big couple of days. Carver, Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio. See you tomorrow.